I'm currently located at White Point Garden along the Charleston Harbor. Charleston Colony was established in 1670 and is the oldest and second largest city in South Carolina. It is no surprise that a city this old is steeped in centuries old history. At every turn in downtown Charleston, there is some part of local, state, or national history. Preservation efforts in downtown Charleston have kept the many historical landmarks and locations available for the public. Thanks to the National Register of Historic Places and National Historic Landmarks program, colonial locations, homes, and buildings have stood the test of time for locals and visitors to learn and enjoy from. Local organizations have also put in time, effort, and love into the preservation of downtown Charleston. First, the Preservation Society of Charleston serves as a thought leader and community organizer, ensuring that the lessons of the past inform the future of Charleston. The organization has several initiatives as part of their preservation efforts. Carlopolis Awards recognize the excellence in historic preservation through exceptional projects that protect the historical resources of Charleston. Cemetery restoration of African Americans, the Charleston Justice Journey, an online interactive research and mapping initiative that highlights significant sites for African American history in Charleston, and our city's ongoing journey toward racial equality. Additionally, they also have easement programs that allow the city society to co-steward with property owners to preserve Charleston's architectural heritage since 1959. Additionally, one of the most popular parts of Charleston, seen throughout the city and into Somerville, the Society's Historic Markers program has offered the general public an opportunity to learn about Charleston's significant buildings, structures, and objects, as well as the outstanding events and people involved in local, state, or national history. Since 1920, Charlestonians fight to preserve the memories of Charleston. Another more famous preservation society is the Historic Charleston Foundation. For the past 75 years, the foundation has preserved the historic landscape of Charleston and the Low Country. Through easement programs to advocacy supporting African American settlement communities and beyond, the foundation remains to be a significant voice in Charleston. According to the 2020 annual report, the foundation was able to accomplish many things, one of them being lobbying at the federal level for the successful passage of the Great American Outdoors Act, which resulted in single largest federal investments in preservation of historic and cultural resources for public lands in our generation. One of the homes listed on the National Register of Historic Places and Landmarks is the John Rutledge House at 116 Broad Street. This home was built in 1763 by John Rutledge as a wedding gift to his wife Elizabeth Grimke. Rutledge was president of South Carolina from 1776 to 1778, as well as the governor from 1779 to 1782. He was a member of the South Carolina Assembly, the Stand-Back Congress, the Continental Congress, and the U.S. Constitutional Convention, where he signed the U.S. Constitution. Currently, it is a historic inn and one of the most picturesque spots in downtown Charleston. In 1988, Richard Widman restored the John Rutledge House and opened it as an inn in 1989. It was added to the register in 1974. A religious and architectural landmark that has been added to the National Register is St. Michael's Episcopal Church at 71 Broad Street. It is the oldest church edifice in the city of Charleston, standing on the site of the first Anglican church built south of Virginia. The architect's name is unknown. However, the type of architecture follows the tradition of Sir Christopher Wren, generally used during the colonial period and up to the Gothic revival in 1844. This church, along with many others, has become one of the iconic structures in Charleston's skyline. The church was added to the registrar in 1961. At 79 Cumberland Street, The Powder Magazine, completed in 1713, is South Carolina's oldest government building. It was used for gunpowder storage from 1713 to 1748 and during the American Revolution in order to defend the city. It was deactivated as a powder magazine during the last year of the Revolution. However, it was used for various reasons in the years to come, one of them being the wine cellar of Gabriel Manigault. In 1902, the National Society of the Colonial Dames of America in the state of South Carolina purchased the building before it was scheduled to be demolished. It was added to the register in 1972. At 122 East Bay Street, the old Exchange in Provost was built in 1771 during the American Revolution. British forces used the basement of the building as a military prison. In 1778, the Exchange hosted South Carolina leaders as they debated and approved the U.S. Constitution. As of today, the old Exchange is one of the only 4 structures remaining where the nation's founding document was originally ratified. The old Exchange in Provost was added to the register in 1969. The old Exchange has been owned by several government agencies, the British, the U.S., Confederate, and Charleston City. It is currently owned by the South Carolina Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution and operated by the City of Charleston. Built in 1772, 87 Church Street is a Georgian-style double house for Thomas Hayward, Jr., one of the 4 South Carolina signers of the Declaration of Independence. Hayward was a Patriot leader and artillery officer of the South Carolina militia during the American Revolution. The city rented this house for George Washington's use during the president's week-long Charleston stay in May of 1791. The house was added to the register in 1978. The house was acquired by the Charleston Museum in 1929 and opened in 1930 as Charleston's first historic house museum. William Blacklock was one of the city's wealthiest British merchants and member of Charleston's Bank of the United States. The William Blacklock House, situated on 18 Bull Street, was one of the first permanent residences constructed in the Charleston village. This still stands out as a grand mansion in the area. The house was added to the register in 1973 and is now used as the Office of Alumni Affairs for the College of Charleston. The Battery in Charleston is a fortified seawall and promenade. The wall stretches along the shore of the Charleston Peninsula. The Battery was the 3rd fortification constructed in the 1820s. Charleston's history spans from the beginnings of a wealthy colony to modern day. Preserving Charleston history is essential to finding the answers to our questions about our nation's past. Local, state, and national organizations continue to support and nurture the upkeep of downtown Charleston, but it is up to us to continue to bring awareness to what history lies within our streets.